Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Week 8 of Season 21. Tonight, the Night Wings are here in the Snake Pit in Indianapolis, visiting the Ramblers for the very first time. Both teams are 2 games behind the leaders of their respective divisions, and an important win will be made coming out of this game. Joining me in the booth today is my co-caster, the ever-intelligent, the ever-gracious Jacob Clear, statisticians for tonight, Declan O'Rourke and Ethan Kai. And of course, this game, as always, is brought to you by our producer, Cameron Irvine, in the production bus. Jacob, how are you tonight? What are you looking forward from this game?
G'day, Mark. I'm great. I've been looking forward to calling this game with you. It's good to be back in the booth. We did one together in the first week for the pre-records, and we're back several weeks later, and you're too kind to me. I mean, this is it's always fantastic getting up for these games. And look, I mean, these are 2 teams that at the moment have had losing seasons. I mean, Denver have hit 500 recently, but Indy are falling right behind in their division, but they're only 2 wins off the top of the Central. So both of these teams have the potential to move up in their divisions with a win tonight. So it's a very important game for both sides.
And coming with their first matchup ever, that's definitely going to be because one team is 10 seasons in. That's Denver, and Indianapolis. This is only the 3rd season in the league. Will the veterans come away with the win, or will Indianapolis come away with the upset? We shall see as this ball is kicked off and this game is on. Here comes Indy with the return all the way to the 30-yard line. And that's where they're going to start. Banfield with the return. We'll see them trot out their offense. This Indianapolis offense so far has produced only 1 win out of 6 weeks. So here they go in I formation, twins formation. Those receivers will move about. Banfield motioning from right to left. Now it's I formation with 1 wide receiver on both sides. The handoff. Here's the handoff, and that's a pickup of 7 yards. Here, let's introduce you to the Indianapolis Ramblers offense. You saw there the handoff to Christian Pierce. The quarterback was Colin Pierce. Fullback is Joel Harleman. Wide receivers are Rob Hunt, Jay Viper, Ryan Roosevelt, and Jeff Banfield. And the tight ends is Randy Pierce. But here's a late handoff, and the late handoff goes to the fullback Joel Harleman.
Joel Harleman, former tight end, but it's interesting to see Indianapolis start the game with 2 runs. I spoke to both of their coaches in pre-game, and they're looking for more balance today. Colin Pierce is at the top end of the league in pass attempts, but he's at the bottom end of the league in pass completion percentage. So balance on offense today, trying to get the ball out of Colin Pierce's hands is going to be really important.
Definitely, and here is a new first down as the handoff this time to Christian Pierce once again will pick up 3 yards. And you mentioned about balance in the offense. This team definitely, that's one of the things they're trying to look into with Colin Pierce, as you mentioned, in the passing. Christian Pierce, 11th in carries, middle of the field so far amongst all halfbacks. But here's 2nd and 7, and the step back and the outside pass to Pierce, and Pierce finds open space on the left side. The defense just allowed him to run for 10, 11 more yards after the catch.
Yeah, and there you go. 3 of 4 plays to start the game have all gone to Christian Pierce. This one through the air on a little swing route, and ultimately this is what we're going to be looking for a lot from Indy tonight. And another touch as well went to the fullback, so they're clearly looking to rely on their backfield tonight to get the ball moving. That's a really good start to the drive.
And that might be Christian Pierce's first reception ever, as he still has no recorded catch in the season. That was his first. And here's the long pass down the middle by Colin Pierce. Finds his guy for a nice reception. That was to Ryan Roosevelt. He's going to be up there. We're going to be talking all night, Jacob.
Well, Ryan Roosevelt hasn't gone anywhere in the space between last season, where he was arguably the best receiver in the league, has come back and is in that realm again. But he leads this team in receiving yards by over 300 yards. There's a big gap between him and Jeff Banfield at the other side of the field. Colin Pierce has clearly got a tendency to throw his way, and Denver are going to need to lock him down.
And that's the problem that Denver will try to answer. They try to answer by getting to Colin Pierce, but Colin Pierce still lets the ball go fly and finds Roosevelt once again.
This is the thing about Colin Pierce, is he's always going to look for that first option in Ryan Roosevelt if he can get it to him. It's never really going to be a matter of, is this guy open? Is this guy in a position where I can feed him the ball? Because he'll make the play. In that instance, he had enough separation where it was a pretty easy catch for him, in Denver a little flimsy early on.
Colin Pierce already to start this game. Solid completion rate despite his season so far with about 53% completion. Tonight, already starting strong. Here's a split back formation out of first and goal for Indianapolis. They've already spent almost 3 minutes in this drive. Colin Pierce, deep step back, finds his man. He trots into the end zone. Christian Pierce is nasty. He gives him a dance. He puts 6 on the board.
And what a fantastic drive by Indianapolis' offense to open up this game. Clearly that balance on show already, because Christian Pierce had 4 touches on the drive on his own, and it was all centered around their stars. Pierce, Roosevelt got them moving once they got inside Denver's half. And unfortunately for Denver, again, they left him wide open on that outside route that he ran a couple of plays ago. This time he was able to march it into the end zone.
And beautiful play calling, as we'll see this extra point go up and good. And beautiful play calling, I agree. The balance you mentioned, Jacob, but also the balance in where their plays were going. Back-to-back plays, passes going to Roosevelt down the middle, catching Denver off guard as they suddenly go to the outside, and that's the 3-yard touchdown to Colin Pierce to cap off the drive. Incredible starting offense by Indianapolis. Denver, can they answer back as they finally will get a chance to bring their offense out of the field? But first, this kickoff will be knelt down in the end zone, so that will mean they will start on their 20-yard line. And Jacob, this offense by Denver has been, middle ground for the most part. Their rushing has been the star of the season so far. So 1st and 10 in their 20-yard line. This is I formation with 3 receivers on the field. Oh! O'Shaughnessy slowed down, but he will not be slowed down. O'Shaughnessy will make it for a huge gain. O'Shaughnessy was hit behind the line of scrimmage, Jacob, but he just broke 3 tackles and found open space.
Absolutely, and I had it written down in my pre-game notes that Bailey O'Shaughnessy is the best chunk yardage back in the game. That's a quote from Mike O'Neill from our show around the SFL, and that's a prime example of it. He's able to break it free. Sometimes in several games this season he's been a bit slow to get it going, and then he just breaks one off it. He's straight into the action here. That's dangerous.
And here they are in split backs. Handoff will go to not to O'Shaughnessy this time. That's not O'Shaughnessy. That is actually number 28 trying to get a name on that player. It is Ari Mills with that handoff off of split backs, getting 3 yards out of the play. Again, split backs formation. I mean, you got Bailey O'Shaughnessy and Ari Mills, incredible in their own rights, and that's going to put pressure on the defense. They're going to motion the receiver from left to right in the handoff. This time back to O'Shaughnessy. O'Shaughnessy rumbles for 5 more yards.
Well, it's good for diversity in your offense if you're comfortable handing the ball off to your fullback, and we've seen both teams do that so far today. But that's really where the league is at now, where there's a number of different ways that the teams can attack the ground game. He'll see what they draw up on 3rd and 5. Gene Struthers to pass.
Struthers will pass indeed, and Struthers finds his man Logan Keel actually winning that one-on-one and gets a nice catch as he falls backwards.
Well, both offenses look quite similar at the moment in terms of the run game gets it going, and then the quarterback looks for his number one option. Logan Keel gets separation. The corner did the right thing there in trying to get in between Keel and the ball, but unfortunately it was a nice pass from Gene Struthers to find that gap.
Here's I formation twins that will turn into balanced offense with each receiver on either side. Toss to O'Shaughnessy. O'Shaughnessy will be stopped behind the line of scrimmage, slowed down enough for the rest of the defense to come on top of it.
Yeah, this has been the case for a lot of his games. Obviously, if we take that first run out of the equation, sometimes it takes him a little bit of momentum to get going. Indianapolis' defense is more than happy to send pressure into the front end. Their linebacking core needs to step up tonight.
And what feels like the fifth time they're on split formation in only their first drive, the handoff will go to Shaughnessy. Oh, Shaughnessy avoids one tackle on the line, able to pick up about 6-7 yards. That is another huge run, and once again showcasing the fact that he is the biggest chunk player of the league so far. Shaughnessy's carry on the ground.
Yeah, those are those moments where he's really dangerous, as if he beats that first contact and almost got through the middle by himself.
It will line up in split formation once again, and R.E. Mills this time will secure them the first down. Here are your Denver Nightwings offense. We have not yet introduced you, but we have mentioned Baylor Shaughnessy, the halfback, R.E. Mills, the fullback, Gene Struthers, the quarterback, wide receivers Alec Jackson, Logan Keel, Jeremy Mosley, and Dylan Lewis, and the tight ends Keith Wheeler and Chris Althair. Once again in I formation, another toss, and oh, they got back there. Indianapolis read that well and sent the linebacker to meet O'Shaughnessy 3 yards, 5 yards in fact, behind the line of scrimmage.
Tally McScarborough, the import from the now defunct London Knights, and he comes up with a stop, another key part of this Indy defense. Pushes up and gets a stop. That's an important play.
So now they send out with the triple wide receivers to the left. Struthers looking deep. Struthers will not find the man as he tried to throw into double coverage and able to connect with Dylan Lewis.
Yeah, look for the slot man on the outside. Just couldn't quite hit it. It was overcooked it just a touch. We'll see what they draw up on 3rd and 15, but they're probably going to have another shot at the end zone here in this range.
3rd and 15. This will be it for a deep pass, and it sure is. Here's a deep step back. Struthers rolling out a bit to the right. We'll try to find him. No. Once again, well defended by Indianapolis, as that pass will fall harmlessly to the ground, and that will signal the kicking unit to come out.
Yeah, looked for his number one target again. Unfortunately, it was a bit too much to ask from him. Sets up a 44-yard attempt for a kicker that's had a bit of a rough season. We'll see if he knocks this one over.
And so the kick is up. The kick is good. So that will give Denver their first points of the evening after what looked like a promising drive to begin with the Shaughnessy demolishing the defense down the middle. Indianapolis able to hold strong and force Denver to settle for 3. And I think that might be one of the key factors, Jacob, coming out of this game, is that Indianapolis, the second worst scoring defense, can they turn things around and flip the script in Denver? Well, here is the kickoff back to Indianapolis. Denver, oh, that return by Banfield, able to bring 2 tacklers actually, and will bring it up all the way to the 30. So back-to-back drives and returns by Banfield to the 30-yard line. Folks, if you're new to the Simulation Football League, welcome to the SFL. The SFL is football for everyone. Get off the sideline and start your player today by joining our Discord server at simulationfl.net. Click the join the community button and begin your career, or just to meet the stars of the SFL on and off the field. It's never too late to get involved. With 3 minutes left in the first quarter, 1st and 10 on their 30-yard line. Here comes Colin Pierce and the gang. Once again, Colin Pierce. Short step back. Colin Pierce, a deep throw. Colin Pierce unable to find his man, and that might be his first incompletion of the night.
It is his first incompletion of the night, and this is a guy who has typically sat below 50% in terms of his pass completions in games. So really important that he's able to find his targets. And at the time he just threw it into a situation that wasn't available.
He's now up to 5 attempts for completions. He will give the handoff, not to Christian Pierce, but to Joe Harleman. Harleman, once again, this time for his second attempt, will pick up. He's now averaging 7 yards per carry in 2 attempts. And we mentioned about balance in passing, balance in rushing. How about balance in who gets the rushing assignment? 2 to Pierce, 2 to Harleman. The defense is going to be on their toes all night. Here comes 3rd and 5. I formation once again. The rollout by Colin Pierce. Colin Pierce tries to find his man. He will. What a nice pass by Colin Pierce as he finds and throws a dive to Ryan Roosevelt.
Once again, he looks for Ryan Roosevelt on the first sight, and you just cannot give this guy any space to be able to reel in a pass because he'll make the play. You see there, the safety came rushing in to try and take it out, but that's a very impressive catch by Ryan Roosevelt, such a talented receiver on this Indy offense.
He is definitely very talented and has been a huge factor in all the games for Indy. The 1st and 10, the handoff will go to, I believe, Colin Pierce. Yeah, it is Colin Pierce who receives the handoff. We'll introduce you to the rest of the Indy offense, as we have not yet mentioned the front line, starting the tackles, Hadrian Marlowe and Chad Rowland, and the guards are Jimmy Hayes and Taylor Menner. Here's 2nd and 8. Colin Pierce will give the ball to Christian Pierce. And Christian Pierce will actually pick up maybe a couple yards out of that play and forcing 3rd and 7. This defense will have a chance at finally getting off the field.
As Stefan Forge, the anchor in the middle of this defense, got home there, it seemed like the runner got caught behind a blocker and couldn't quite break up for a few more. Forces it 3rd and down.
An empty open set. Colin Pierce will have many receivers downfield, and he has a deep step back, has forever to throw, and that forever is rewarded as who else but Ryan Roosevelt, securing them another 1st down.
It's such an advantage having an offensive line with the talent that Indianapolis has got, because, I mean, Colin Pierce could have sat back, ordered a pizza, and then threw the ball, the amount of time he had to unleash that pass. But once again, looks straight for his number 1 target in Ryan Roosevelt. It's as if he's not going to target anyone else tonight. That's another fantastic throw to reach the double R and to get a 1st down.
1st and 10 in the red zone. Colin Pierce will look to score here, but no. Unfortunately, or I guess fortunately for Denver, that is well defended. Unfortunately for Indianapolis, they won't score here, but they got about 2 more attempts for a touchdown.
It was an interesting play call. It looked like he targeted Joel Harleman, who ran a route up from the fullback spot, but was unable to find him.
I formation in 2nd and 10. Under a minute to go. Colin Pierce once again looking to pass and again throws down the middle. Oh no, he tried to throw to, oh goodness, tried to throw to Roosevelt, and instead it was intercepted by Devon. Oh goodness. DeVore, actually, Lucas DeVore with the interception.
Well, that's a lesson in responding to what the offense is giving you as a defense. I saw that Ryan Roosevelt was the clear number 1 target, as he always is, and finally put 3 defenders around him in that situation. Colin Pierce goes back to that passing lane, and unfortunately this time for him, Denver gets a player in the right spot, and Lucas DeVore comes away with the pick.
And from our stats chart, before the interception, Roosevelt had 4 receptions and 4 targets for 76 yards. We'll see here the 1st and 10 be a handoff to O'Shaughnessy, who picks up 3 yards, and they'll try to respond and turn that interception into fortune for themselves, as so far their first drive only resulted in 3 points. They're going to want more. So with under 30 seconds left to go in the clock, they will be able to need to get off one play before the quarter ends. Once again, under split backs formation. Curlers calling something on the line. See something, will give the handoff, and that handoff will pick up 2 yards, and that was to our emails, and that is about, we got 10 seconds left in the quarter, and as the quarter ends, Denver will try to reply back to Indianapolis after the turnover. They are trailing, but they are hot on the heels of Indy. 3-7 is the score, folks. Don't go, and keep tuning in to see the result of this game. Just like that, we are back in this first ever matchup between Denver and Indy. In Indianapolis' very young career as a franchise, they face the ever, present veterans in Denver. And in talking about ever present, how about number 99, Telemex Scarborough being present in that backfield, getting to Struthers once again.
That's the second time he's done that today, Telemex Scarborough. First time he got the towel back. This time he gets in and takes out Gene Struthers, and that's going to be the nature of Denver's offense tonight. The fact that they're giving it to Ari Mills, they're only going to pass if they have to on third down. You got the engine that Bailey O'Shaughnessy has, they don't have to.
Yeah, unfortunately it does turn into a punt, and the punt will end up in Indy's 47-yard line. So not only did they punt from that situation, it was also deep in their backfield, and given Indy a very good field position starting at their 47-yard line, and that's going to be incredible. They turned an interception, and the defense held on and forced the punt. And now Indy back in the field once again with an opportunity to maintain or extend the lead. 1st and 10. Toss to Colin Pierce. Oh, nice block indeed. And Colin Pierce has room to run. Colin Pierce is still running. What are these tacklers doing? Can he take him down? No. Yeah, oh no. They take him down inside the end zone, and that's where he will score 6 more points.
It's the magnificent run by Christian Pierce, but we're going to get a replay of it. I want you to watch this first block that the tight end put up, along with Joel Harleman, who ran to the outside. Watch this first contact on the linebacker by Harleman. That's fantastic. I mean, that creates the space, and he's just too quick for everyone. Once he gets past those 2 defenders, it's game over. Good luck catching him. Christian Pierce, second touchdown of the game, was dragged over the goal line, but he'll take it, and Indy's rushing attack just looks superior to Denver's, which you wouldn't have called early on, but that's been how Denver have been. It takes O'Shaughnessy some time to get involved in games. Christian Pierce is looking to attack this one early.
And what an incredible turn of events for Indy. It almost feels like this was just a carryover from the previous drive, which in of itself was looking good, only to an interception. Instead, Christian Pierce goes off for a 53-yard scamper for a touchdown. You mentioned Randy Pierce making the nice block. I thought I saw one more wide receiver make another key block downfield, and it was all Christian Pierce. So, up 14-3, they will kick the ball off, and Denver will bring it all the way to the 30-yard line. For all the league highlights, photo galleries, major and minor league stats and leaderboards, community content, and so much more, check out the league's website at simulationfl.net, presented by Football Ship. Stay up to date and explore our past, our present, and our future. Well, if we're talking about the future, it's looking rough for Denver as they're staring at a 3-14 hole. So they want to keep up. Any score out of this drive would be beneficial. They're going to line up once again in split formation. Has been mildly effective so far. The twin receiver on the right side of the lineup. This will be a handoff, and that will pick up. And Only 1 yard as the hand to O'Shaughnessy will get stalled behind one of his linemen.
Yeah, that was a really interesting choice of play there. It seemed like it took way too long to actually get set up. And as a result, Indy reads it.
2nd and 9 in a similar formation. Nice pop by O'Shaughnessy, hopping over the line as there was pancake action happening there, and finds the first down.
Yeah, someone got rocked there
Oh.
from Indy's defense and it presented a crease for him to run into. Hasn't had much love so far, Bailey O'Shaughnessy, but that was a bit of room for him to run into. And I'm surprised they're not bouncing him to the outside more. That seems to be his strength at the moment. They're trying to punch him up the middle, and Indy are responding to it.
Rumors that O'Shaughnessy run hurdles before joining a football team. As once again they're in the split back formation, and out of this, will look to pass. The Struthers look to the right side, and he will find the receiver in Jeremy Mosley for a nice 9-yard gain.
Well, it's the first time of the game that Struthers has passed it, not on third down. This time they go straight back to the pass and finds an outside receiver. They're not going to take many risks here with their passing game if they can avoid it.
Absolutely no risk in that nice outside pass. Also falls out of bounds. Actually, it didn't fall out of bounds, but the handoff here in 2nd down, it was only 2nd and 1. They needed 1 yard, and that's very easy for O'Shaughnessy.
Yeah, again, they're just trying to test the middle of this Indianapolis defense, and to this point, they've been pretty good at plugging the middle. And you see here, they're lined up to run the outside. They've almost exclusively ran on 1st and 2nd.
And a little bit of motion action happening here as they move Keith Wheeler from left to right. Some blocking opportunity for a run to the right side, perhaps. No, instead it's a pass play. Oh, Scarborough was blocked. There was some nice pass protection there against Scarborough, but the pass falls incomplete as Jeremy Mosley was actually several yards away from the intended target.
He should have done better, whether it was the fact that Struthers overthrew it a touch to the left-hand side of his body, or what the case was, but it looked like that should have been a completion. Mostly a good separation, but unable to get to the ball.
So out of a similar formation will be a handoff to O'Shaughnessy. O'Shaughnessy, pushing defenders to his side, but will be tackled after only a 4-yard gain still. That will put them at 3rd and medium. 3rd and 6. O'Shaughnessy, you see right there, averaging 5.2 yards. That is a good average to have. O'Shaughnessy dotting the I, but this will be a pass out of Struthers. Struthers, there's a defender running for it. Struthers will run. What is that defender doing? But they fumbled the ball, and the ball is recovered by Andy. What did I just see there?
Well, he did the right thing, but he didn't protect the football. It seemed like he lost control of it when he hit the ground. Or it was jarred free. A good play by Andy's defense to recognise that he was going to make the slide. Good timing on the tackle by the linebacker, and forces it free, and Indy get the turnover.
Kenneth Gaston Jr. reminding me of someone watching YouTube on their phone as he was just watching Struthers run right next to him, not moving. Was paralyzed, but instead someone else forces the fumble, and that'll be a turnover that they need. And look at this, out of that turnover, 1st and 10, the handoff to Christian Pierce will give them 9 yards.
Yeah, you can just see a complete difference between the two running games at the moment. That's a 9-yard pickup, but that, by contrast to what Christian Pierce has been able to do in this game, that looked quite comfortable. And in contrast, it's been a difficult start for Bailey O'Shaughnessy, irrespective of the stat line. He's only had one real run. Pierce has looked solid throughout.
And the late handoff will give them plenty of yards. Joel Harleman rumbling down for plenty of yards. The offensive coach really liking that play. And if you're liking the play and liking the game so far, well, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. The SFL produces over 400 events a year, and there is no one else that gives you more football. Don't miss a minute of the SFL or SFLM action and help the channel grow through your support. Ladies and gentlemen, hit that like button. Get us to 100 likes tonight. This short swing pass. Oh, nice stiff arm by Joel Harleman. After that swing pass brings down 2 tacklers with him. It's a 4-yard gain.
I think I confused you earlier, Mark, on that touchdown because I said it was a tight end that made the block, but the reason I got that confusion was because he used to be a tight end on the Jacksonville Kings since signing for Indy, now fullback.
Oh, another nice late handoff. And, I mean, yeah, number 44, Joel Harleman doing magic for Indy in many aspects of the game. In the run blocking game, and the running when he gets the carry. We have yet to see him get a catch, but I feel like they have that in their back pockets as well. So 1st and 10 with 5 minutes to go. They are inside the 40-yard line of Denver. O'Shaughnessy goes from the split formation all the way back and makes the I formation. Interesting motion as, oh, nice movement and route running right there by Christian Pierce, finding a little sore opening in the middle of the Denver defense, allows for a short 3-yard completion. That will set up 2nd and 7 in Indianapolis. Once again, out of I formation. Here comes the roll by Colin Pierce. Oh, the ball is bouncing, but no, it's going to fall incomplete. So far, back-to-back plays, a nice short pass and an incompletion. The Denver defense, another chance to force a stop.
That pass was there for the taking, but it looked like the Denver defenders were too interested in the man involved and not the ball. Should have had someone back there to try and pick up the tip.
Here comes a triple formation, but oh, Colin Pierce rolls out and will run for the first down. 10 yards? Sorry, that was 7 yards of a run from Colin Pierce, and he gets the first down.
Well, that's kind of been the story of the game there, is that anything Indy have done, Denver haven't been able to do as well, and they're going to challenge to spot the ball. I thought he got it because he seemed to roll over, and generally they give those in this league, but he protected the football, whereas Gene Struthers didn't do it when he checked it down himself. We'll have a look.
Right. So we'll definitely see here if maybe he was brought down. Was he across the line? Ooh, his body might be, but the ball placement is what they're reviewing. The ball actually never goes across the line. And this should go back. It'll be 4th and inches, perhaps 4th and 1, but that is a huge turnaround for Denver.
Yeah, retroactive look at the play. Get your Retro Pocket 3 at goretro.com, but that's why I'm up here and not down there, because I thought he got that, and in fact, I think that the spot of the ball is a bit harsh, actually, but he definitely didn't get that first down.
So that turns a first down into a 45-yard attempt. Field goal. That field goal is up, and that is good. Indianapolis extending their lead to 17 points to 3. And an interesting fact about the season so far of Indy, all 6 games, they've come into half behind the teams they faced all 6 times, and it's looking like they're turning things in their favor in this game as they are up just before the second half is about to end. So the kickoff after that nice scoring drive by Indianapolis, a field goal resulting from that drive. This ball will once again be returned, and this time it's Lewis returning all the way to Denver's 26-yard line. We're going to get an update from Cam.
Thank you, Mark. The rematch in D.C. living up to the hype. Chavez Synergy over to Kevin Say, dumps it off, and that gives DC a 17-14 advantage just before the half. Back to you in Indianapolis.
Thank you very much, Cam. And man, that's a very interesting game happening there. In this game, we're going to see Denver try to make it interesting for them as well. As the short pass to O'Shaughnessy is good for 7 yards. And that is the one thing probably we haven't seen much of for O'Shaughnessy is plays on the outside. As O'Shaughnessy primarily has been running down the middle.
Yeah, and that time tries to run it to the outside. That's more like what we want to see from Bailey O'Shaughnessy. Get him in space so he can attack those open tackles.
Oh, this time a run down the middle is left open as Bailey will pick up the first down, a rare first down for Denver so far in this first half. When I say rare first down, I mean rare first down out of a run play down the middle. Denver or Indianapolis succumbing to that play, allowing a first down. So here comes a new set of downs for Denver. And Struthers, look at the pass. Oh, he finds the man. That was a little messy in the backfield, Jacob, but Struthers able to let that go and make a completion.
Yes, and right back to it with Logan Keel down the middle. He ran it to the inside, little corner route that hits, and it's a nice completion. It's that's what they needed. This run game's been a little stagnant at times, so Gene Struthers needs to take it into his own hands at some point. That's a good start.
A 1st and 10 as we have under 3 minutes to go in the first half. There's a bit of motion in the backfield as a toss play to O'Shaughnessy. There's O'Shaughnessy on the outside picking up 7 more yards, and that's O'Shaughnessy attacking those openings on the outside defense.
Yeah, and again they send him to the outside and he gets space, and that's again Indianapolis is allowing him space on the outside to run into. Thus far the middle's been hard to attack. Again, that time he's one step away from breaking one off. Every time he touches it, you're just waiting for that moment.
Denver putting almost everyone in the box, but this is a handoff to the fullback. Yes, it is a handoff to, sorry, not the fullback, to O'Shaughnessy down the middle, once again picking up back-to-back first downs by Bailey O'Shaughnessy.
You're right in the sense that it went to the fullback, but it was because O'Shaughnessy was put in as the fullback. It looked like R.E. Mills was actually the running back in that formation. Interesting choice of formation from Denver.
And that will bring us to the 2-minute warning of the first half. The score is 17-3. Denver is trying to push for a comeback in this game. Don't go away, folks. Thank you for joining us tonight in this game. It is Denver versus Indiana. We are in the pit, or what was it? The Snake Pit, the Indianapolis Arena. As we are now, once again, a new set of downs for Denver. Down big. O'Shaughnessy will be trying to be the vehicle of a comeback here, as that play is only for 2 yards.
Yeah, and again, Indy plug in the middle. Sally Max Barbaro has been very important. That time gets home again on an assisted tackle, but we'll see here. I mean, it's going to be another run, you would figure. They've got 3 wide receivers out, but I believe that's a bit cosmetic.
We'll see if that is the case, and it is. That play might have looked like a pass play, but a toss play. Still, good read by Indy as they sent linebackers to stop O'Shaughnessy in his tracks. We'll look at a bit of his stats here. 74 yards in 15 carries. About 5 yards per carry, so solid average. But here's Struthers. Oh, Struthers finds his man. What a pass by Struthers. Throwing across his body and the opposite side from his throwing arm.
That's a nice completion. Kenneth Gaston Jr. had 2 tackles in a row on that set of downs on O'Shaughnessy, but they opened up that left-hand side of the field. It's a bit too much, and he was able to find Keel.
A bunch formation with a single back. That's going to turn into 2 receivers on either side. as the defense adjusts. Going man. Oh! Jacob. Guess who it was making that hit in the backfield?
Third time today. What an impact he has had on this game. It's just, but again, because if you're able to rush an outside linebacker from that spot, you're essentially helping out your defensive line and getting pressure. And it's a good job by Indianapolis just to see that there was an opportunity there and take it.
So, in second down and very long out of that play, that's kind of the situation that happens after a sack. You set up second and long for your opponent, and then the defense lining up in dime odd formation, preventing that long pass because you expect the offense to make up for the loss by passing, and defense coming away with another win, back-to-back wins as they force an incompletion. Here comes Struthers looking for another deep pass, and the defense holds on, Jacob. Indianapolis, I thought they were going to allow Denver to come back in this game, but they stay solid and force the kicking unit to come out.
It was the same formation defensively from Indianapolis, and they remained in zone. They got the stop on the first play. In that situation, they forced strugglers to throw again. It was complete, but nowhere near the first down. Good work by Indianapolis' defense.
And that is no good. The field goal is no good. Denver, in their attempts to scale the mountain, slides back down the hill and remains 3-17. That is just outside the sticks. That is unfortunate, Jacob.
Well, it's awful because he's already missed 2 on the season, I believe. Both were in the same game against San Diego a few weeks ago, and he's hooked that one. That's a shocker. That's a awful result when you need points. You're down by quite a ways, and your kicker can't convert.
Here is the handoff to, I believe that is, oh yeah, it is R.E. Mills with the handoff right there. We'll get 6 yards. It looks like they're taking their time, and it looks like that this is the score that they're satisfied going into the half.
Yeah, they'll run this out, Mark. There's no chance they're going to take any gambles here.
Yeah, I agree. Had a solid first half. Unless, no, the defense will be able to collapse on Christian Pierce. Will be able to make a stop there. I was going to say, unless some key blocks. Some key blocks were made on the left side, but on the Christian Pierce decides to run inside where the defenders were. And we're going to see the end of the first half here. 10 seconds to go. They're going to line up still. I think they're not even going to let this play go through. 5 seconds. They will let one play go. We'll see what happens here. Christian Pierce will be able to run for 6 yards, but that will signal the end of the half. Wow, folks, the score is Indy 17, Denver 3. This is the first time in this season that Indy is leading by the half. This is their highest scoring, well, they're matching their highest scoring first half, and 17 points. And they're looking very nice tonight, Jacob, especially defensively.
Well, it's been a one-sided affair in this half, and you can only hope from Denver's perspective that it's going to be a tale of two halves. But at the moment, it's really, I mean, it's interesting. We talk a lot about Indianapolis' run game being as strong as it has been. You see there, that stat line from Colin Pierce is very promising. 8 from 12 for over 100. His completion percentage has been very much above his average this season, so that's promising. But really, I mean, Pierce is your player of the half, but he's only had 8 carries. The diversity in their backfield has been good. Harleman has had some really nice touches across the course of that first half. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of that in the second.
Yeah, we're looking at least Indianapolis is looking to hold on and maintain the lead. They will kick the ball off this time. It's Denver who's going to start this half. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Denver at Indianapolis, week 8 of the Simulation Football League. as this second half is kicked off, and then it's on. Denver catch the ball in the end zone. Will run it all the way to the 25, 27 yard, and that's where they're going to begin the second half. Once again, my name is Mark Lopez, and I'm joined in the booth by Jacob Clear, Declan O'Rourke, and Ethan Kai, our statisticians. Thank you very much for always supporting us broadcasters and making us look smart. And of course, Cameron Irvine and the broadcast booth. So, second half now finally commencing. Denver with the ball will look to maybe change things around, try to make some adjustments, but we'll see. Down 3-17 there. 2 touchdowns away from the lead. 1st and 10 inside the 30-yard line. There's a bit of a motion coming here from one of the receivers moving to the left side, and Struthers will throw to O'Shaughnessy, where the defender moving with the receiver open up a little bit of a spot for O'Shaughnessy to run.
It almost seems like every game Bailey O'Shaughnessy will have a run where he breaks it off, but to this point Indianapolis has done a really good job at closing him down. Hasn't had much love at all since his first carry of the game. Again, you're still waiting for that moment, but it hasn't come yet.
Oh, well, it might be this one. As the run in the middle by O'Shaughnessy, not really for huge yards, but still breaking the first line of defense, breaking through the defensive line, and it was just 2-3 defenders able to collapse on O'Shaughnessy quickly.
Yeah, if you're Indy, you can't give him that much room there. They're starting to be a little bit more relaxed in the middle of their defense. Denver have picked up on that.
Here's the handoff for O'Shaughnessy. The defense will be able to get him and only allow 4 yards. We'll see what the defense is thinking for Indy coming out of the half, because sometimes you look at the lead that you have and maybe expect Denver to throw and close the gap quickly, but it seems like Denver is holding strong on their run play. So out of 2nd and 6 with split back formation, Denver, this will be a handoff that is to O'Shaughnessy once again, but with a flock of Indianapolis defenders meeting him in the line of scrimmage. It's basically a 0-yard game.
Yeah, it was tough, but a better response from Indianapolis' defense. Last 2 runs from O'Shaughnessy, they put a lot of pressure on him. And once again, they're forcing Struthers to pass on a 3rd and medium.
Defense shifting with the offense, as here comes Struthers looking to pass. Struthers had some time and he throws deep. Oh, Struthers finds his man. Struthers, nice pass to Dylan Lewis for a huge gain.
Second target, but first catch. But wow, the athleticism from Dylan Lewis to get up above the defenders. It looked like he had 2 on him at the time. He did. Gets up above. Good jump and catch. That's an impressive play. That it was so needed for Denver's offense. They needed to get the ball away from O'Shaughnessy. It hasn't quite opened up for him. They look downfield and one of the receivers makes the play.
Handoff once again to O'Shaughnessy in 1st and 10. Oh, O'Shaughnessy's breaking tackles. O'Shaughnessy's starting to heat up.
Well, that play from Dylan Lewis is going to open the game up a bit for Denver, because they were able to piggyback off that with that run. Indy played off a little bit, expecting to go back to the pass, and then they just crashed it up the middle again. This time, he had plenty of room, picks up 12. He's up close to 100, but the game's just starting to open up a little bit for Denver.
They are in the red zone after that run. Noah Davis had a chance of bringing down O'Shaughnessy earlier. And now it's Adam Weissman with a nice tackle on O'Shaughnessy. Noted, this is the first game that Adam Weissman is playing against his former employers.
It's his first involvement as well. First time we've really called his name all game.
And here's a pass play out of 2nd and long. That pass falls to the ground, and that will force Indianapolis to get off the field in Denver. If you're Denver here, you need that first down. It's crucial.
Of course, absolutely.
They only need the first down. They don't need a touchdown here. They are setting up for a deep pass. Struthers, a little bit of a fake, and that fake doesn't net them anything as that pass falls incomplete. Nice defense by Indy. Jack Russell amongst those defending that pass.
Yeah, Jack Russell, Adam Noel was the one that covered him at first, but I mean that play in the Indianapolis playbook was just get bodies around Logan Keel, and because that was where they felt it was going, and they were right. Good defensive adjustment by Indianapolis, and they forced another 4th down. Just have to hope that he knocks this one over.
So it is a 33-yard attempt, 15 yards closer than the missed field goal earlier. The kick will go up, and this time that is clear as day and good as good. Good as good, as the 33 field goal means that they push their score to 6 points.
Well, he nets that one, so he's 2 from 3 on the day, but it's been a rough one. But now they're giving the ball right back to Indianapolis, who really haven't done much wrong today.
They have definitely been looking like the superior team. They had the one mistake of an interception earlier. But besides that, they are looking stellar. As even this return, look at that, all the way to the 36. So even at every level of play, playing lights out.
Jeff Banfield hasn't even been sighted on the offensive side of the ball, but has been doing the work as the returner. That time he got caught at about the 30, but just continued to push forward, and just that extra yardage can go a long way when you're driving downfield.
Yeah, absolutely. This means it's going to be a 64-yard drive for a touchdown potentially, instead of what many teams would usually start with 70 or more yards to go. But now, 1st and 10 with 6 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Colin Pierce will give the handoff to Christian Pierce. Oh, nice tackle by the defense, as Christian Pierce is only able to obtain 1 yard out of that play.
And that's a better run, a defensive adjustment from Denver. You need to get bodies around the ball at the front end when they look like they're going to go to him.
2nd and 9. Here comes Christian Pierce with 1 stiff arm, breaks 1 tackler. But I believe that's Luke Schreiner. Yes, it is, with a tackle on him. It will lead to 3rd and 5.
Yeah, Paul Lewis Quintana got a taste of the dirt there. Paul got stiff arm to the ground, but a good recovery by the corner to come in and make the stop.
Colin Pierce averaging 9.1 yards per attempt. Still under 100 total passing yards. But he will pass. He's rolling out to the right. The defender's right next to him. Colin Pierce almost finds his man. Oh, that was a close one. That was Ryan Roosevelt who had his hands on the ball.
Yeah, Ryan Roosevelt, he's that good. You kind of expect him to reel those in, but that was a difficult situation. Did well to run out into the crease there, but unfortunately, I mean, Denver had an opportunity to get the sack there. He pointed it out, but he couldn't shed the block or didn't recognize that the quarterback was in the pocket right near him.
So for the Denver defense, this is incredible showing from them as they force a punt out of Indy. Indianapolis, besides their scoring drives, Indianapolis has only had 1 interception and no other end of drive type of plays. There's no punt, only a score or an interception. So first punt forced by Denver means that they're going to start all the way in their 18-yard line. 1st and 10 Struthers, a quick pass and nice catch right there by Jeremy Mosley, setting up a 9-yard gain and 2nd and 1.
One-handed catch, and it's his 2nd of the game, Jeremy Mosley. And well, you'd think they're probably going to start thinking about the pass a bit more. They've started to slowly inch their way towards a more pass-oriented game. See if that continues.
It will not continue in this play as the handoff to O'Shaughnessy will in fact net them. Well, they're gonna say 0 yards. It looks like it was a loss out of that tackle, and the defense collapsed quickly on Bailey.
Scarborough again with a tackle for loss, and look, the box score might not reflect it, but I haven't yet seen a team defend Bailey O'Shaughnessy this well this season.
There's about 8 players on the box by the defense. That would be a first down by O'Shaughnessy, not before eating a huge hit right there from Jack Russell.
He got minced there, got met at the line of scrimmage, and then this Jack Russell came up and stopped him. It's been the former London Knights players on defense for Indy that have made the biggest difference.
In the meantime, Denver Struthers finds another man down the middle, so a little bit hot and cold so far this evening. But this time, Struthers will find Jeremy Mosley for another. Oh, that's not Jeremy Mosley. That's Logan Teal.
Number one target, and has been reflected in this game. Finds him across the middle once again. Safety wasn't quite in position to make the hit where it was necessary.
So with this another 1st and 10 nearing the midfield, it'll be another first down. So back-to-back first downs in the first play out of a set of downs, and that's another completion. They are now inching closer and closer. They're now
Shaughnessy on a route there, Mark, trying to diversify the way they're attacking this Indianapolis defense. But that's a good adjustment, recognizing that they've got a hold on your run defense, so forcing it to the tailback in a receiving situation instead.
Now they set up an I-twins formation. The handoff, nice block on the right side, but a tackle from his back, as that's Noah Davis tackling O'Shaughnessy from the back and bringing him down before he could take advantage of those blocks downfield. Second and 8 with 3 minutes left in the quarter. Here comes Struthers looking to pass. It's a quick one to O'Shaughnessy breaking one tackle. Oh, that could have been a 1-yard gain, but it instead turns to about an 8-yard gain, and that is a huge, nice short pass to O'Shaughnessy.
He did well to find the open space there, O'Shaughnessy, and I want to make a point. We were saying earlier that R.A. Mills was getting touches. It wasn't R.A. Mills. R.A. Mills is the number 44. It looks like Denver have had a backup tailback in at a number of points during the game.
Oh, O'Shaughnessy once again nailed by Jack Russell. Still getting the first down, but that's the second time out of a first down completion that Jack Russell just hits and clunks O'Shaughnessy down to the dirt. Well, here's the 1st and 10 in what feels like 100 plays in this drive already. Number 4. Here comes the handoff. O'Shaughnessy will get the handoff. Will be able to pick up 4 yards.
Yeah, that's okay. They've definitely wound down the clock, and you can afford to do that because the gap in the lead isn't as much as it perhaps looks. So winding down the clock in this situation, not the worst idea.
This drive has started all the way from the 5-minute 41-second mark, and another sack on Struthers. Another one by Talimax Scarborough. He's been in this backfield. He has parked and placed his residence here behind the line of scrimmage.
Count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tackles for loss.
Wow.
For Talimax Scarborough. 2.5 on the QB. This time gets home again on Struthers. He's been an absolute nightmare today.
What a force to be reckoned with. He turned what could have been a third, or could have been the first down, into 3rd and long. Denver forced into an open set. All receivers out there in the field. Here comes Struthers with a deep step back. The protection is there, but the receiver was not, as the catch is incomplete. Alex Jackson, I believe, was the target, could not come away with the catch.
Close, but no cigar. Looked for an open route, couldn't find one. Trying to tried to test out a contest, and there you got another field goal to kick.
It is a 46-yard attempt. This is only 1 yard shorter than that miss. We're going to keep hammering that miss many times this game because it might be the difference maker, but we'll see if this one will miss. Or if it's good, it is good. It's another 3 points on the board. Denver is still back after 3 scoring drives. They're 9 points, but still behind against Indianapolis, 17 points.
We've cut it back to 1 score at the very least. That's the important thing. Now you've got to lock down on defense again. They did it earlier in the quarter. Now you've got to stop and prevent the Christian Pierce attack from overwhelming you again. There's still plenty of mileage left in this game.
Now available for you to download, you can play the SFL video game on the go on the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus, an emulator, or we'll finish that ad read as this is a huge return by Indy. Oh, a nice spin move, and that's where they're gonna take it all the way to Denver's 28-yard line. Man, what a way to put their feet on the necks of their opponent and try to put a stranglehold on this game.
I'll tell you what, anyone picking up the Retroid today would be trying to replicate that return, because there was a lot of skill involved in that return there and Viper hasn't really had much to do today in their receiving game. It's really been all Ryan Roosevelt. That time he's got the special teams duties that were previously held by Jeff Banfield, at least from what we've seen. They inject another receiver in as the returner, and it brings them up now already on the cusp of the Denver red zone. If you're Denver, that was the worst possible thing you could give up.
Absolutely, because now they are already in some sort of scoring range, and going more than 1 score away will put you in another hill to climb. Here comes the handoff to Christian Pierce. Christian Pierce with a zone cutback will try to pick up more yards, but will have to be tackled for a 3-yard gain. Let's give you that SFL Retroid read where I was interrupted by Viper. Well, the emulator for Retroid, emulator for 4K23, it's in the palm of your hands. Order your Retroid today at goretroid.com, search SFL, and download our mod at simulationfl.net/4K23. Retroid, the official console of the SFL. Here comes Indiana split back formation. It's a late handoff. Oh my goodness, what a stiff arm. What a huge play out of that late handoff, and it's a first down. Denver is getting destroyed and broken apart.
Well, Joel Heilman's had a bit of a breakout game today. 6 carries for 50 yards. He's averaging over 8 per carry. And it's almost as if Indy have got a second tailback out there that also happens to be a very good run blocker. He's had a lot of moments where he's been able to create really good space for Christian Pierce. He's been the best on field for me so far today.
I agree. He's doing everything that Indianapolis needs him to do. That was his longest run for 11 yards. And this time, Christian Pierce will get a handoff. Oh, able to break away. The defender in the front line, he just campers to the end zone. We're talking about worst-case scenarios for Denver. We've seen one as he pushes their lead to 23.
Yeah, less than in angles defensively because he chested the outside. Harleman again with a superb first contact block. That created the space for him to run to the outside, gets the score. I'll tell you what, the combination between those two backs today has been superb. Indianapolis have really found a formula today that they can run with.
With Harleman paving the way for Christian Pierce's second touchdown of the evening. This extra point is up. It is good. It caps the 14-yard touchdown run for number 23, Christian Pierce. And what a drive they've had. What a game Indianapolis has been having so far. The lead, the score, is 24-9.
The Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
Thank you, Mr. Chris Curtis, for reading our rights. We are here at the fourth quarter, the onset of the Denver trying to come back. Put up your 4s, put up your 86s, 12s, 68s. As we're here to to see the end of this match. This ball will be returned by Denver into the 32-yard line. But before we see this offense, we're going to get an update from Cam.
Thank you, Mark. 3rd and goal in DC, and Kevin Say is going to punch it into the end zone. The last 6 possessions of this game, dating back to the second quarter, have resulted in scores. Declan O'Rourke is probable with a broken hand, trying to get back in the ball game, trying to will DC to a win. 8 minutes to go. Baltimore's got the ball back. Back to you in Indianapolis.
Thank you for the update, Campbell. Definitely O'Rourke working double time. That's going to definitely give him his broken hand. Working stats here and the game in the other block. But Denver will be saying that this is their prime time. They're going to give it to O'Shaughnessy. It's a 5-yard pickup. I think, Jacob, this is not going to be enough for them if they stick to O'Shaughnessy for only 5 yards every time.
Well, you have to give credit to Indy's run defense. I mean, this is a guy will have, very close to 1,300 yards in the season after this game is completed, you'd think. They've done a very good job shutting him down. He hasn't broken any off.
This one is close for a first down after that handoff. O'Shaughnessy short by 1 yard, averaging 4.4 yards per carry, 118 and 27 attempts. His waiting for confirmation for this, but that is his lowest yards per carry so far in this season. That goes again to credit to Indianapolis. O'Shaughnessy will still get the handoff. We'll get another first down. I think that run down the middle, 3 plays in a row, seems solid for O'Shaughnessy.
It gets them forward. They needed the 3rd down. At this point, you're kind of in the point now where it's do or die for Denver, and you can't afford to give anything away. That's what they do here, spreading the receivers out.
1st and 10, just before the midfield here. Here comes Struthers. A short pass to the outside, but boy, what a coverage by Indianapolis. Even those short outside passes are well defended.
And those are the passes that you see get returned for 6 defensively. Those outside routes that just run out to the line of scrimmage. You've got to try and get that out of your system, because that's such a risky play to try and put up here at this point in the game with no reward.
Yeah, I'm thinking they might want to go more vertical than lateral out of those passing plays. Here comes Struthers looking to pass. There's Talamek Scarborough coming to him, but Struthers able to throw a 7-yard dot, 7-yard dime. Will be 3rd and 3.
Talamek Scarborough is hungry today, looking again on that outside blitz. So good off the edge. See here, they look like they're going to run this.
Here comes pass instead. Did look like a run. Oh, it is a run. It is a scramble by Struthers. He will pick up the first down after an athletic jump over a defender. And boy, Gene Struthers, you're a multi-sport beast.
I don't think he learnt from the first time he ran the ball today, because he just had that in one hand. Absolutely zero ball security from Gene Struthers. This time, though, he held on, but Lord, he tested that one, I'm sure. Head coach Stefan Forge, his hair was sticking up on his arm watching that one.
His hair is also being pulled, but Struthers have a back-to-back plays, making the first down scamper and then finding his receiver for another first down to Jeremy Mosley, seemingly one of the more consistent targets for Gene Struthers.
Consistent because he used to be a tight end for a large part of his career. This season, moves out to wide receiver to fill up a depth spot for Denver where it was necessary, and has been a very good adjustment for him.
Well, here's another first down. Struthers looking, waiting, throwing. It's incomplete. There were actually no white uniforms where the ball ended up in. Might have been a little bit of mistiming or miscommunication.
And again there on coverage was Talamek Scarborough. He can do it all. We've been saying his name ad nauseum, but within reason.
Absolutely. He has been all over the place all evening. putting out 100% effort every time. A handoff will go to O'Shaughnessy. Everyone is there. Everyone, including Scarborough, stopping O'Shaughnessy after only a 2-yard gain.
Yeah, predictable. Again, their star linebacker involved in the play. I mean, he's essentially taken the workload off of guys like Adam Wiseman, who are veterans of the league today. He's just commanded the entire game from his spot.
That kind of leadership is what led to what we're seeing. Under 10 points scoring by Denver. And now Gene Struthers forced to pass. Gene Struthers finds the man. Whenever he tried to rely on Gene Struthers, he delivers. He picks up another pass to Mosley.
Mosley 2 for 2 now on this drive, and once again just found a little gap in the coverage, run a stop route. Those are really successful in this league when you get a receiver who can sort of take that 7 or 8 yards and then turn around on a corner and get in between the ball and the defender. That was a nice play.
That nice play by Mosley will set up first and goal inside the 9-yard line. That short swing pass to O'Shaughnessy, about a 2-3 yard gain, and it's going to be second and goal.
This is where they've had trouble, is actually putting away drives. You've now got into a spot where you're able to execute with short yardage to go, but you can't afford to sit back and not score.
Definitely not. A touchdown minimum is needed here given the time and situation. The handoff. This time, I believe that is to O'Shaughnessy, sitting at the fullback position in that formation, will pick up 0 yards, and that's going to force third and goal. It's third and goal. That seems like a very long third and goal.
Yeah, well, you're forcing Struthers to make the play now by himself, but Keel and Mosley have been solid so far today, so watch out for them to run outside into the end zone here.
Struthers will pass down the middle. It's no good. Good defense by Indy. They're going to force a fourth down, and that's going to be a question to be answered by Denver.
Now you got to go for it. They're too far back now. You've got to go for 7. It's 3 points at this point in time with 5 minutes left. It doesn't serve them any good. I think you have to go for it, but they're not going to.
Absolutely. This field goal does not go in their favor. It is still a 2-score game after that field goal. So a very lengthy drive, 12 plays, almost 5 minutes taken out of the clock. And all they got away with it is 3 points. That is very unfortunate for Denver. Indy will kneel down in the end zone, and they will start at their 20-yard line. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production of the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. Here's the handoff. Oh, Christian Pierce. He broke one tackle and almost had room before the defense was able to collapse on him. He has been a menace all evening.
And this is the problem, Mark, is this game does not present much hope for Denver to be able to change the course of the game, because it's been a fixture where every drive has been sustained. It's drained the clock. And they need a quick stop, and at the moment, Indy's rushing offense has been almost impossible to stop.
Oh, and a late handoff. Indianapolis pulling all the tricks in their bag. Joel Harleman will pick up the first down. He has been the X factor of Indy.
Yeah, well, that's player of the game, Joel Harleman, to you, because he's been, in my opinion, the best on field. Has been the lead blocker for his tailback and Christian Pierce, but has also had several really quality carries from the backfield.
He has been averaging 7.6 yards per carry from 7 attempts. Incredible showing from your fullback. Oh, Christian Pierce. Wow, maneuvering his way around potential tacklers. There was one headed for him after he broke the first line of defense. See right here. Oh, he avoids number 54 on the defense before being brought down. It's a nice scamper by Christian Pierce.
See the guard there. I think it was Taylor Mena moving downfield and just said, "Get out of my way." Nice work by the guard there just to push out and create space for Christian Pierce.
Everyone in the box for Indy, except we have two split backs. Oh, it's just
Nice
clinical,
try.
Jacob. It's just clinical.
In the fourth quarter, just notice how quick he is off the mark. I mean, that's impressive. You've been running it all game. You're out of puff. But that looked like that was his first carry of the game. But again, Denver's defense has just been worn out today by these long drives that Indianapolis have been able to put up. And you watch that clock ticking away. I mean, they let on that field goal attempt, they let themselves into a position now where they had to get a stop. And at the moment, Indianapolis are just running straight through them.
Here's another heavy set. Taking their time, eating all that clock. Handoff. Christian Pierce. Oh, goodness me, break the tackle. You've got to be kidding me, Christian Pierce. What did you eat for breakfast?
He didn't even put a move on. The truck from Christian Pierce just... Now, this is why they call him the fridge. Just get out of my way. It's been a physical game plan from Indianapolis, and Denver have not had anything to really counter it today defensively. I'm really impressed with the way that Indianapolis came out here today at home, have really started to turn their fortunes around this season. But Christian Pierce, that box score is mightily impressive.
They've allowed 42 points on average in their first 6 games. Just about a quarter of those points allowed in this game. Denver's only down to 12. And Christian Pierce will pick up another 5 late into this game. They really like the late handoff. Meanwhile, Denver remains unadjusted to that single play.
I hit a 2-minute warning here, but when we come back, I'm gonna talk about what this win means for Indianapolis.
We will see the time expire all the way to the 2-minute warning, and that is your 2-minute warning, ladies and gentlemen. What a blowout we're experiencing from Indy, the underdogs, the definite underdogs so far coming into this game, but not looking like it at all. Jacob, what were you gonna say?
Well, first of all, it's a blowout, but only if you watch the game. The box score doesn't represent how good Indianapolis were over the top of Denver today.
Yeah, well, it was all about Christian Pierce, and as much as my player and your player today could have been Joel Harleman, Christian Pierce really has been the heart of the offense, especially late into this game. And Denver just looks like they look very defeated on the field right now. It is the first timeout used by Denver in 1st and 10 at 20-yard line. Christian Pierce is just breaking hearts left and right. Denver using their second timeout of this game. And you were mentioning about the importance of this win. Definitely important, especially despite their record. They're only 2 games away from the top of their division.
Well, this really shakes up the Central, doesn't it? Because their sworn rivals in Minnesota are sitting at 3-3 at 500. But this win, depending on other results between Tulsa and Sioux Falls, could send them up as far as 2nd. So huge for that division today.
And out of that play, with Christian Pierce getting the first down and Denver having their final timeout, that might have been the dagger on the chest of the Nightwings. Tonight on SFL YouTube, coming up next, are the Alamo Artillery attempt to follow in Florida's unbeaten footsteps and pull ahead of Fort Worth in the South Division when they host Mexico City. Facing a must-win matchup, plus another pair of Atlantic teams do battle as we see out of 2nd and goal. Here's tackle by the line of scrimmage. Well, those Atlantic teams will do battle tonight in the battle for Carolina. It's the Skyhawks versus the Predators, and it's going to be coming up next on SFL YouTube. So, folks, hang tight and stay tuned for those games. But this game, as it's approaching its end, Denver down to 0 timeouts. Man, what a game by Indy, Jacob.
Well, I was just reviewing my pre-game interview with the head coach of Denver, Stefan Forge, and looking at what they were trying to target today, and he said specifically that field goals wouldn't win the game today, and they had to score touchdowns when they were in the position to do so. And unfortunately, it's been the exact opposite for them today. They have not been able to counter Indianapolis's defense. It's just been a complete one-sided affair, even though the scoreline might not necessarily reflect that to the point that it has been. It's been completely lopsided, and huge credit to Indianapolis's defense for simply being able to step out and take down Bailey O'Shaughnessy. No team this season has been able to defend him as well as they have today. And on the other side of the ball, Denver just haven't been able to work out how to get Indy off the field.
O'Shaughnessy limited to 139 yards, or 129 yards. That is actually his lowest performance in terms of yard in the season. Incredible showing by the defense of Indy, by the offense, special teams as well doing their job. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the ball game. Indy will come away with the win, putting up an upset against Denver in their first ever matchup. And what is a pivotal win for both teams? It is Indy who comes away with it. And as we look to the stats at the end of the game, Jacob, we already mentioned some of the highlights, but at least for Denver, what do you think Denver can come away after this loss?
Well, it's very interesting looking at those stats because the total yardage for both sides was basically dead even, but it was just a completely different game. And Indianapolis have really turned their season around today. They've given themselves every opportunity to make a comeback in their own division. The fact that Minnesota are sitting in first at 3-3 means that division in the Central is entirely for the taking. And today, well, that's a huge statement. And Christian Pearson, the run game with Joel Harleman was truly the important factor. But I think defensively is what was really important. And they've shown that if they can play like that today, like they did against the rushing offense of Bailey O'Shaughnessy, which is arguably one of the best in the league that we've seen so far this season, they can certainly play up to teams like Minnesota that are within their own division that are also at the top end of rushing offenses in the league.
100% agree. Another key stat as we watch the stats up here was the red zone scoring. Denver, 3 times in the red zone, could only come away with 2 out of 3 field goals. Indy, 2 touchdowns. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight. Once again, I'm Mark Lopez. That was Jacob Clear, Ethan Kai, and Declan O'Rourke were the statisticians. And for Cameron Irvine in the production booth, thank you and have a good night.